least is I equals PRT. So I is your interest. That's what you're going to either earn or possibly pay in extra. P is your principal, so it's either the amount maybe you borrowed, the amount that you've like invested. R is your rate, which is basically taking your percent, whatever your percent is. And then when you plug it in, you do have to remember to move your decimal over 2 places. So I would plug that in at 0.52. And time, the big thing with time is it must be in years. So if it's not in years, if they give it to you in months, does anyone know what to do to change it to some form of a year?
Divide how many months by
12, because there's 12 months in a year. Perfect. So for this one, I would say it's quite simple. I like you to write out the formula I equals PRT and then plug everything in. We don't know the interest. So we're going to write an I here. The principal is this amount, so 734. Rate is taking your percent and changing it to a decimal, so 0.12. And then the time is the 3 months. However, it's in months. So this one, again, just like he had said, you're going to do what then?
they're going to change it to a fraction.
Or you could write it as a decimal, right? I mean, it might be easier to plug it into your calculator. And this would be 1/4 of a year or 0.25. Either one is acceptable. And then simply multiply straight across. So 734 times 0.12 times 0.25. And then we end up with $22.02. Does anyone know what that actually is standing for? I mean, even if I put an I here, what does this mean?
How much money you made?
Yeah, or actually how much money you might owe, depending on what it is, if you invested your money. So if we were to say you invested $734, you made an interest of $22.02, how would you figure out how much money you have at this point if that were asked? What would you still need to do to figure out where you were at after a quarter of the year? Yeah, you could take that, add it to the $734, and you could say, now I have a total of $756.02.